Hello, hello, hello. Let me just check if the audio is good, just like every single time. And it actually seems perfectly fine. So, hello everybody, it's your overreacting and overexaggerating commentator here. My name is Kirklin Ordino and welcome back to another race in Season 8 of GRS. Today we'll be tackling one of the most famous circuits on the entire calendar, located in Japan. The Suzuka International Circuit is 5.807 kilometers or 3.608 miles long and has 18 corners, along with one DRS zone on the start-finish straight. Some of the most famous corners here in the S section of Sector 1 Spoon in Sector 2, and the infamous 130R will give our drivers a lot of trouble to keep it on track and perhaps, if brave enough, try and make overtakes happen, which would be incredible to see as they are very rarely done and succeeded. The tires are in the hardest range of C1, C2, and C3, along with the intermediates and wets available as always, and we could very well see them used today, as Japan is quite commonly known as a rain race. And that is it for all you need to know. Today, of course, is a very special occasion as we are going to have a sprint race, but we will be talking about that later, as right now I want to take a look at the standings a little bit, where we left off last time. We saw Steven Bekovic finally take his first win, no incidents or no penalties like in Australia that demote his win. He does take it and leads the championship by 13 points, as he also got awarded 2 additional points for a pole position and a fastest lap. So he is currently leading for McLaren, and that team will definitely be really happy. Callum Lyons is still in second place, currently the best challenger for the McLaren, but we did see in Singapore another challenger emerge in Connor Hawken, who unfortunately, because of the penalty, finished 5th, while on track he finished 2nd, if I remember correctly how it was. And yeah, Callum Lyons is going to be looking to try and catch back to Steven Bekovic to not give him a easy task over the course of the entire season. While in P3 we also have Corey McSweeney, actually benefiting a lot because of the penalties being awarded, and got to that second position, also 17 points behind the championship leader. John Hearn in the Sauber got the final step on the podium, currently sitting in P4 in the championship, with Darrell Bradley in P5. Also being switched to Alpine, which is another thing that has happened in between Singapore and now. Connor Hawken and Darrell Bradley have switched positions. Connor Hawken is now driving in Aston Martin, while Darrell has been moved to Alpine. Ryan Siliker, or I think it's actually Mohamed Kadei, has been demoted to F3 if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure. So a lot of stuff has been happening in between, so that is a lot of fun to see as we are going to go into the race, as I think it is going to be loading in. Yes, there we go. So, you might see that it says a short sprint qualifying. As I said, today is gonna be a sprint race, which means we are gonna have 2 qualifying sessions, one short sprint quali and one normal short qualifying. The sprint qualifying is going to be 12 minutes long, and it's going to decide the grid for the sprint, which is going to be 9 laps long. And after that, we're going to have a normal qualifying again, which is going to be as normal 18 minutes, which is going to set the grid for the main race, which is going to be 50%, 27 laps today, unless we have stuff like last time, where we had to end on the beginning of lap 23 because of the exceeding time limit of the maximum time allocated for the race. So let's hope that doesn't happen today and that we don't have any issues at all, as it looks like we do have a dry qualifying session for the sprint qualifying, so that is going to be very nice to see. But like I said, we still cannot discount the rain. We still have 3 other sessions that we're going to have to do, and anything can still change by then. So it's going to be very interesting if there is going to be a wet session to see if the drivers are going to be putting in a dry setup or a wet setup. On this track, it is beneficial to use both a high downforce and low downforce setup, because if you have a high downforce setup, you can very easily gain in Sector 1 and Sector 2. But then, because of the high downforce, you're gonna lose a lot of speed right in the ending of Sector 2 and the rest of Sector 3, and of course on the start finish straight, you're gonna lose a lot on those. And you might easily get overtaken, which might be a little bit of a problem. So it all depends on in which direction you want to go with. For me, I don't know. Like if you strike a nice balance, it's gonna be fine. If you're quick in the corners, if you're quick on the straights, it's really the best thing that you can have. But I mean, of course, also you have to say with high downforce, it's gonna be easier to break into the corners, and of course, the tire wear is not gonna be as harsh because you're not gonna be putting too much pressure on the tires as much as you would with a low downforce setup, as yeah, you can take them a bit easier. And the traction is, of course, a lot easier with higher wings and higher downforce. So it is going to bring quite a compromise to each and every one of our drivers, as we do have 17 drivers for today's race. I don't know if some of them are missing. I don't think they are. So that is very unfortunate, but 17 drivers is still quite good. And before we head into the first lap of the session, I want to see if the audio is correct. And I think it's good. Yeah, everything is good. You can also tell me in chat how it is and stuff like that. But we are going to go on board with Connor Hawken for the first lap of the session as he crosses the finish line to start. This is the only DRS section of the lap, as we see a Williams or an it isn't a Williams letting the Aston Martin through. This corner is very tricky. You wanna brake right as you get onto the curb or right before it and go to 4th gear, maybe short shift to 5th for better traction at the exit of the corner. These are very nearly flat out 5th gear or 6th gear. It all depends on, like I said, the setup you are using. Flat out here, using 5th and 6th. Again, you can do this section first corner flat out, and then go into 4th gear, maybe 3rd for the exit, but 4th is more stable. Right as you exit the curb on the right, start braking, go to 3rd gear. That's the most difficult traction point of the circuit. You could see a lot of people losing the back end of the car there. Now going into spoon, brake right after 50, around 40 meters, 35. Go into 5th gear, stay in 5th gear, and just smooth steering all round. And you will be perfectly fine as we head to the longest straight on the track, which does not have a DRS section, flat out in 130R, and braking around 100 meters, maybe 110. And going into 3rd gear for rotation, 4th gear at the exit to get the best traction. And that lap time is very solid, as it is a 129.3 on mediums as a banker. So it is pretty solid, as we see Adam Lapage 129.6. Right behind Connor Hawken, 3/10, perfectly solid. As we see Callum Leons, the other Aston Martin driver, put it on provisional pole, 128.7. So the Aston Martin's currently dominating the session, but we still need to see the other drivers set a lap, as we see Jere Hivari in Haas setting a lap and giving slipstream to his teammate Harvey Conway, which is going to help him out quite a lot, as we are going to stay on board with them to see if he is gonna improve there. He might also get a little bit of traffic ahead, as there are the Mercedes and Aston Martin that completed their laps. So hopefully they're gonna back out when he gets close to them, but currently this lap is looking pretty good. Purple Sector 1 for the Haas driver, 32.2. Sector 1 looking very incredible for the 69 driver. Nice number. I wouldn't have it, but if it's available, go for it. As using a little bit of ERS here on this straight, but still on hot lap, and presumably saving the overtake for a later time. And presumably here, as that exit was looking pretty nice. The back end of the Haas didn't look quite stable enough, but I don't think that they lost a lot of time because of that. As we go into the braking zone, into the chicane 16, 17, and 18. Takes it very nicely, hugging all the curbs on the outside and inside. And that is going to be a 29.1 for the Haas driver as he puts it on P5 on the grid. As Hivari behind him, actually, his teammate is going to do another lap. So let's see if he is going to give the slipstream back, as we didn't see the Ferraris put it on P3. Corey Williams, I think that is. Oh, I really don't know, because there's two Corys. There's Corey Williams and Corey McSweeney. I think this is Williams, because he's driving in a Williams. Put it on P4, but actually it was taken by John Hearn, who puts it on P4. Purple Sector 3, so looking very fast on the straights. Gonna be very good for race pace if he is looking for overtakes. George Parr currently sitting in P7, Callum Pierce puts it in P9, Mitch Snape in P12, 32.4 definitely made a mistake, along with Lucas Hodes and Hugo Nilsson, who has front wing damage, so presumably either spun himself or made contact with other drivers, as we do see Charlie Gordon being late, as they have joined the session. Driving for the other Williams, as Hugo Nilsson nearly kills himself going into the pit lane, pit entry of this track. That was going to be very sketchy. If the car wasn't going to be reset, he would fully hit the barrier, and that would be his tire gone. Because of this physics model being so stupid, you can hit a wall with 320 kilometers an hour and nothing's gonna happen, but you can hit it with 10 kilometers an hour and your tire is gonna fully explode. It's a fascinating game, that's all I'm going to say. Codemaster is more like code wankers. That was a bad joke. I'm horrible with the jokes. I'm never gonna do it again. But we do see, I think that is Steven Bekovic on a lap, or actually preparing for a lap, our current championship leader. So let's stay on board with him. Let's see if he is going to be able to take that pole position away from Callum Lyons, who is still currently sitting in that pole position. So let's just wait and see what's gonna happen. Is the McLaren gonna assert dominance over everyone again, or is he gonna go into the pit lane? He's gonna go into the pit lane. Very good, very good. George Parr currently on an out lap, along with a RB of Mitch Snape. So they're gonna have to discuss who's gonna be first. That is Adam Leipich currently as well near the pit lane, but I think the Mercedes is gonna go into the pits, and he does. So I don't think a lot of people are actually gonna be doing another laps, or actually scratch that. I think they are, because the banker laps are mostly set on mediums, and they still have a fresh set of softs to use in this qualifying session. So we are gonna see a lot of drivers emerging onto the track in around 30 seconds. And the track is going to be bunched up. I think these two, Mitch Snape and George Parr, are going to be held up a lot. They are going to have a lot of traffic here, which is going to be very, very spicy to see. And that's why I think we can go on board with George Parr and see what lap this is going to be. As he has invalidated, hopefully that's not going to invalidate this current lap. But let's see here. Using second gear at the exit of this of the chicane on turn 18, which is fascinating. As he starts his lap using overtake on the straight, of course, that is quite mandatory, as he is led by the Alpine, but looking at the minimap, he has a lot of traffic, along with his teammate, a Haas of, I'm gonna say, Hivari, and a Red Bull of Josh, but I think they are on the lap, so they are not gonna be held as they might have been held by the other two that I mentioned. But currently, this lap by George Parr looking pretty solid, as he does improve by 4/10. Just shows you the comparison between the mediums and the softs. Softs providing a lot more grip in that S section in Sector 1, and I think that is going to be the place where you're going to gain the most time of the tire advantage. And this traction zone as well. That is probably going to be another 10th or 2 gain there, because you can get a lot earlier on the throttle, as we see the Ferrari just fully steering into that corner. The car looked a bit wobbly on the entry, as they are gonna get slipstream off of their teammate Harris van der Kmoor, who hits the wall to avoid his teammate. Posting purple sector 2 currently. If that is gonna be posted, that is gonna be provisional pole, as we see Callum Pierce retiring in the pit lane, not even going out. And the Ferrari is gonna cross the line. Is it gonna be pole? It is gonna be pole. 128.2 for the Ferrari, as the other one starts his lap. So very good showing there from George Parr, but let's see if anyone is going to beat that. I think we have John Hearn starting his lap, but behind him it is gonna be Connor Hawken actually also starting his lap. I can't really see who's going to be finishing. Charlie Gordon is going to be finishing, and it is going to be a 130.5. I think they're going to be doing another lap. Never mind. That is going to be their on the lap of the session, which is very unfortunate, as that is, if everyone improves, that is going to put them in last position. That's what you get for joining late. Don't join late and you'll be fine. As I think that is going to be a Haas driver of Harvey Conway going to be the next driver to cross the finish line. Let's see how close he is to the provisional pole. Only improved by 4/10, so not a big improvement for the Haas driver. Currently sitting in P8. If he does improve, that is going to put him in P2 or provisional P2, and using a lot of the overtake, and he is P2. Looks like a lot of drivers are actually gaining in that final sector, in Sector 3. That is the place where they gain most of the time, as Corey puts it in P3. Callum Lyons puts it in second. Cannot beat our provisional pole sitter still. As we see here, Hivar, the other Haas driver, putting it on P9, 129.1. I don't think they're going to be happy with that one, as Jonah Hearn currently improved by 6/10. Is he gonna gain another 4/10, as we've currently seen being gained this final chicane, pushing it fully off of the line, getting a bit squirrely on the exit, and it is going to be a 128.5. Next across the finish line is the Aston Martin of Connor Hawken, put it on P8. They're going to be disappointed with that run, as the Alpine of Doritos or Darrell Bradley puts it in P3, and of course our championship leader takes all of the glory for himself, puts it on pole position with the only person to be in the 27s, 27.9. Very impressive lap there from them, as we see the Ferrari cross the finish line. Harry Swanwick-Moore, but he does not improve, stays in P10, 129.0, and that is going to be the final finisher, as Charlie Gordon is not improving. We did see him letting a Alpine through last time, and that is going to be our grid for today's sprint. Fascinating there. Fascinating sprint, or sprint qualifying session, as we see Stephen Beckwith take another pole position to his name. I don't know if we actually award a point for sprint qualifying, but I do think we do, because it is a qualifying session, so you can literally take maximum of 9 for the sprints, and then 26 for the normal race, and that is 35 points you can take fully. If you win everything and take pole position and everything, so that is going to be very good for them. Yeah, like I said, Stephen Beko is on pole position with George Parr, the Ferrari driver, alongside him on the front row of the grid. Callum Lyons in P3, Darrell Bradley in P4, Corey in P5, Harvey P6, Zickley Pitch P7, Jonah Hearn P8, Connor Hawken P9, and Harris Swanwick-Moore in P10 on the mediums. Actually didn't even improve on the softs, so they might have been blocked. We will have to wait and see later in the reports, but if they were, or if he was, then that is very unfortunate. for the Ferrari driver, because it would have been nice to see their pace on this track fully, because we did see George Power being very fast, so anything could have happened. As we see, it is a bit overcast conditions in the sprint, so we might actually see some rain, presumably in the middle or the ending stages of the race. We cannot discount that. It is Japan, it loves to rain, so this is gonna bring a lot of spice to the race. Now, if you're not familiar with the sprint, basically there is no mandatory pit stop like in the actual race, so you can just choose a tire and go full on push to the end. And it's all gonna depend if drivers are gonna be using softs or mediums. Softs are of course gonna be easier to wear out, while the mediums are easily gonna go to the end, as we see a lot of people on the mediums. And we have 5 red lights. And we are on the way for the sprint. Steven gets a incredible exit there, as we see Harris Wonick more get damage into that Ferrari. That is very unfortunate. They probably got too early on the traction, but Steven still leads the race. George Barr still second. Daryl Bradley has improved one position. Callum Leon's not getting off to a good start. We see a lot of people going side by side behind. Currently being very clean, actually. That is very surprising. Usually you would see a lot of carnage in Japan on the first laps, but people are taking it very safe, as we see Callum Pierce still side by side with the RB of Hugo Nilsson, or Mitch Snape, I should say, as he takes that position for himself. So, off to a very good start there from everyone. It is unexpected, definitely, as we see everyone currently on the mediums, so they are definitely taking it safe. As we see someone ghosting a Mercedes of Callum Pierce, there might have been contact behind, as we see Adam Lapage using a little bit of ERS, trying to maybe get ahead of the Williams of Corey Williams, but he's not gonna do it, as Corey actually abusing the curbs in Spoon. You never usually see that happen, as the curb can really unsettle your car. As I get a request from Flippy there, who presumably wants to be invited into the session, but I can't really see him, as there is action ahead. There's an Aston Martin and Williams side by side, and Williams backs out. Adam Lapage is gonna go around the outside. Is he gonna do anything? Oh no, he's gonna back out, but he still has space on the outside. He's gonna take it. No, he backs out, and there you go. Invite sent to Flippy. As yeah, that was a very nice battle there. The Mercedes had the opportunity, but decided to back down because they know that you can very easily crash here if you have no trust to the other driver. You really need to trust each other to make it happen. As we see, Adam also fully molest curbs in Sector 2. You can do it here, not like in Spoon section, but it all of course depends on the setup, as Adam nearly fully goes into the back of the Williams, but I think he actually does, even with the lag, as the Williams does ghost, and Harvey Conway takes full advantage of that mistake from the Mercedes and takes P6. I think the Mercedes actually does also have a left front end plate missing, so there was contact there, just lag didn't really show it that much, which is very unfortunate there from Adam, as he is currently under pressure from John Hearn here, going into 130R with damage. It should still be flat out easily, as the Mercedes is getting closer to the Haas, as he gets hit from the Sauber driver, fully unsettling their car and getting squarely on the exit, but still staying on track. So thankfully nothing has happened there, as we did see a change in position here. Callum Leon's going on the attack on the inside, going into turn 1 on the Ferrari of George Barr, but George defending it very nicely, still leaving space, but the Aston Martin had to back out, still in the podium positions. If you're not if you don't know how sprints work, you get awarded points from P1 to P8 as follows: 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So a lot less points awarded for the sprint, but it does also kind of make sense. So there is still a lot to play for, well, not a lot to play for, because it is a much shorter race. But we do see here actually Daryl Bradley taking the lead. I fully missed that. I don't know when that happened, but Daryl Bradley in that Alpine showing beautiful pace. I wonder if the Aston Martin crew is now saying to themselves that we fired the wrong driver, that we should have still had the Bradley, because Bradley is flying currently. As speaking of the Aston Martins, Connor Hawken has overtaken Adam Leapage, who is still driving with that damage, as Connor is looking for a little bit of a move on the Haas driver ahead, but of course is nowhere close going into the chicane of turn 16, 17 and 18 and has back out. But Harvey Conway here going on a move there, and Callum Lyons, is he gonna finally make the move, making contact for the Ferrari a little bit? But they both make it cleanly, as George Parr nearly crashes into the wall with the traction, but still takes it around the outside, going into turn 3. Impressive stuff there from the Ferrari, as we did miss another switch in positions ahead, Steven getting that lead back. In P1, these two flying off of the field behind of George Parr, Callum, Corey and Harvey, and showing brilliant pace on these mediums especially. It is going to be fascinating to see in the main race when strategy is going to be involved, if they're going to be that fast on the softs as well, as we see side-by-side action with the Williams and the Haas of Harvey Conway, who is going to go for a move into Spoon on the inside. Is he actually going to make it stick? He does! Does he leave space for Corey? No, he doesn't! He does not leave space for Corey. Corey has to fully track extend, but Corey's gonna go back at him. He's gonna now be angry by that push. Going into 130R, they are gonna go side by side. Now Harvey's gonna be on the outside. Is Corey now gonna leave space for the Haas driver? He does. But Harvey has less speed, but still has the inside line going into the final chicane. Still leaving each other fake, makes a little bit of contact and fully pushes himself, both of them, into the wall. Oh god, that was not nice, as Harvey dangerously rejoins the track, nearly takes out Callum Pierce while trying to rejoin. That is very dangerous there. That would need to be looked at later, but yeah, that's a very big shame, as that battle was looking very nice indeed. But I don't even know what happened there. The Williams just didn't turn into the corner, into the chicane, as we see Connor having a massive moment there. And we have our retirements of Harris Wonderkmore and Charlie Gordon that we completely missed, but it looks like they made contact with each other as they both retired at the same place. So very unfortunate day for the Ferrari and Williams drivers. They're not going to be happy about that one, as we see... Oh, these guys are not in the session. They're ghosting through each other. I don't know what's happening here, but hopefully that's going to be resolved. We will have to wait and see, as we see our leaders battling again. Steven Bekov is trying to attempt a move on the Alpine, just saying, hey, I'm here, I'm not going anywhere, you cannot run away from me. I will overtake you on the main straight, because the McLaren will have DRS and ERS to use, but the Alpine also still has a lot of ERS to use, but when you have DRS, it is no chance to defend, as we see a very easy overtake there happen from Steven Bekovic, as we also see the Aston Martin of Callum Lyons overtake for the podium position. But this is actually the first time I'm seeing this. The Aston Martin has damage as they make contact with the Ferrari. Is he still letting him through? Yes, he is. This is amazing battle here for the podium positions between the Saubers, Aston Martins and the Ferraris, leaving each other space beautifully in the S sections, and I think every single lap they've gone into those sections side by side, and you can just see the racecraft between all of these drivers. It's just beautiful how much respect they have from each other, or for each other, and how brave they can be going into the first sector side by side. It's beautiful to see, as we have a yellow flag. Callum Lyons actually trying to go for a move down the inside going into Spoo's section, but it does back out. He does remember that he has a end plate missing, which means the downforce levels are not gonna be as massive, and he would fully push the Ferrari off the track. But now he's under pressure from the Sauber, as he fully overtakes him around the outside even before 130R, which is fascinating. And now we are gonna see another move presumably happen there for the podium, as John Hearn is flying in that Sauber, that very distinct green colored car, as he is going on the inside of George Parr of the Ferrari and is gonna easily make it stick. But we did see George Parr do the switchback all the time. Is he gonna still stay there? He is staying there, saying, John Hearn, you're not getting rid of me that easily. And I think John realized that with watching him and Callum battle, but John still has that inside line. George is gonna make another switchback into turn 6, I think that is, and he's gonna take that position back. George, you're a mastermind. What the I wanna say the swear word, but I can't swear on stream, because that would not be good, but oh my god. The Ferrari's beautiful racecraft is showing there, but also you can't say, you can't disregard Callum and John. They are battling beautifully. This is, I think, some of the cleanest and most fun battles I've ever seen on this track, because people are actually living in each other's space. But speaking of space, Jari making contact with the Sauber driver there, going side by side still into 130R, as Jari does back out of that move. He's gonna stay behind in P6 as Connor Hawken. Oh my god! Well, scratch everything I said. What just happened? That was a massive full-on dive bomb from the Sauber, and what fascinating. We do have side body damage and underfloor damage that you can get. Hopefully the Ferrari hasn't been given those because of that late lunge from the Sauber. I don't think he has, as he does run wide, currently under pressure from Jere, and he does have to concede that position, so there might be some effect on that Ferrari car, which is very unfortunate there, but yeah, that was very fascinating to see. I don't know if the Sauber of John Hearn just fully mistook the braking zone and fully broke late, or if it was deliberate. I really don't think it was deliberate. John Hearn has been here in the server for quite some time. I don't think they would. I don't think that he would do that deliberately. But it is very unfortunate still. It's unfortunate to see, as we see George Parr going around the outside of Jari. Callum Leon's also seeing that George is flying as he makes contact. Yes, and that is gonna be George in the wall. The Ferraris are having a lot of fun. That's Steven around as well. Steven is round. Our championship leader has been spun or spun himself. I don't know, but something's happened there, as we see quite late defending from Steven as he makes contact with the Mercedes of Callum Pierce. And he's still gonna stay there, as we see Lucas Holtz fully pushing the Aston Martin of Callum Leons off the track. Everything's pumping off at these ending stages here. It was so clean in the beginning and the middle stage, but on lap 8 and lap 9, everyone's just starting to be aggressive. As we see Callum Leons get another penalty, 3 seconds for multiple warnings for track extending. As are we gonna see Steven maybe trying to make a move here, as we see another contact there from the Haas, as he fully has spun himself, and Callum Pierce going on a dive bomb on the McLaren, as the McLaren nearly crashes into the Mercedes. But yeah, very unfortunate there from Jere flipping there, as we see another retirement of the McLaren. We've literally seen like 5 retirements happen in this last lap alone. What is happening, guys? As we are gonna see Darrell Bradley is gonna win the first sprint race of the season, but we still have battles here for second place. Connor Hawken, while being for the whole sprint in 9th, he's gonna take second. How? I mean, I know how, he just fully capitalized on other people's mistakes, but what just happened in that final lap? Oh, I'm gonna have a fun time stewarding again. Oh god. People just drive. Like you saw George and Callum and John just drive so masterfully all the time, making little to no contact into the first sector, and then you just see people pushing themselves off in that section and everywhere else on the final lap and on lap 8. Like, why do you do that? Like, just race cleanly, leave each other space. But yeah, Darrell Bradley does take that win from starting P4 as Connor finishes P2 from P9 and Lucas Hodes from P14 to the podium position. So very, very nice stuff there. Darrell showing a lot of pace. I think he is furious that he got fired from Aston Martin and is trying to show that it was a mistake from the Aston Martin side. As we are heading on to the second qualifying session of today, and it is a dry one again. Now, I actually don't remember if Park Ferme is re-enabled for this. I think it is. I think you can make final setup tweaks in this qualifying session right before you head out, because that's like that in real life. So I can see it be in the game as well, but it is Codemasters or Code Wankers, as I called them before. So it could very possibly be that they didn't implement it. As we see Hugo Nilsson being the first driver out onto the track on the medium tires again, just as before in the sprint qualifying session. But yeah, the overall feelings of the sprint are very clean in the beginning and middle stages of it, and then at the end everything just fully crashed down. All the cleanness, all the clean driving, all of the bravery from drivers fully flushed down the toilet, which is very fascinating to see, and I am gonna have a lot of fun stewarding this tier again. I'm literally predicting. If you don't know, like I'm also stewarding this tier as I'm commentating it, and in these last two races I've had 16 reports to make, which is always in F2. It always has the most reports out of any tier because it's the most chaotic one, and I can clearly see, because of the sprint and combined 2 qualifying sessions and the main race, I can clearly see like 30 reports being made, which is gonna be a lot of fun to do, because this tier literally reports anything and everything. Every slight contact, every slight push of the track, they report everything. As we see Hugo Nilsson crashing into the wall on their out lap, just about to start the lap, which is fascinating. You don't want to do that. So the first guy to start the lap is going to be Connor Hawken, who finished P2 in the sprint race. So let's see if he's not going to be bottling his qualifying session and starting P14 and maybe starting a bit higher now. As we see currently his lap being quite slow, if I might say so myself, but it is on mediums. It is on mediums, but it just doesn't look like he's pushing too much in the first sector, going very conservatively, and it shows 32.4. Before, in the sprint qualifying, we saw a 32.2 being set as a banker for sector 1. So yeah, the Aston Martin driver currently not pushing to the fullest and losing the back end of the Aston Martin at the exit of the hairpin, which is, I think, so if I count it, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. Turn 10. I think it's turn 10. I'm always bad with track numbers and track names. The only one I know is Spoon, because I called a corner in Silverstone Spoon. Like, you know, the right after the first DRS section, the first DRS straight, as you go into the left-hander, and then the right-hander. I called those corners spoon for some reason. And that's the only reason why I remember spoon. And spoon's in Japan. Um, it's not in Silverstone. As we see, Hugo Nilsson getting disqualified as he was letting people past at the exit of the pit lane. I don't know why the game has disqualified him. But yeah. Currently, the Williams drivers giving each other slipstream. Harrison Wickmore currently our provisional pole sitter. Jere Hivari on the mediums, only 8,000 behind. The Ferrari driver Conor Hawken P3, Zik Lepage P4, but I think they are on another lap. As we see, Corey Williams 128.3 for the Williams, and my stream is buffering. Okay, I think it's fine. I thought everything crashed, but thankfully it didn't. It didn't crash. I'm happy for that. As Corey is our provisional pole sitter, 128.3, as I was saying. And our sprint winner of the Bradley currently in P6 on those softs, but he is on another lap. Let's go on board with him. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Now, using fourth gear, I never saw people using fourth gear in that section, even in like normal qualifying. You can use it in the race, but I think fifth is just overall better, as you did see A31.7 being set in sector 1, purple sector as well. Let's see how he's gonna take turn 10, the hairpin very nicely staying in third, very early on the traction there, with the throttle, using a little bit of overtake on the exit as well to give him a little bit of acceleration and fast speed or top speed. Going into spoon, very nice turning, staying in fifth, getting onto fourth at the exit. Fascinating, as they are gonna get a little bit of slipstream of the Williams as they break a board of some sorts of Qatar Airlines, which I don't think anyone cares about them, as Daryl brakes at 100 meters, very nice there, staying in third, thoroughly caught the turn 17 curb on the inside, and that is going to be a 128.3, our new provisional pole sitter. Still showing a lot of pace even after that sprint, as we see a Sauber over John Hearn starting his lap, the Williams going into the pits, and I think that is going to be Mitch Snape finishing their lap of this track, and it is going to be a 129.6 currently, puts them in P7, but not a lot of people have set a lap time yet. Half of the grid still needs to do it, so I can see that very not good. We did see a pole lap time in the sprint of a 127.9. Nice drift there from the RB. 127.9 set by Steven Bekovic, currently in P10. Not a lap time has been set. So it's going to be interesting to see if that lap time is going to be exceeded, or if it's not gonna be able to be achieved. So we'll just have to wait and see. But as we are on board with John Hearn, I'm gonna read some of the comments, because I fully neglected them until now because of so much action in the sprint. So let's see. The stream isn't lagging today. Yes, because I know how to stream. I don't know why it's not lagging. HS Moore watched as usual. Well, he did crash. We're gonna have to see how he crashed, as we see Harvey Conway getting a 5th place grid penalty with a collision with Conor Hawken. And as I see Conor Hawken going very slowly, so it could be that they have blocked the Haas driver. That is gonna be reported, which, fun. I love reports. Give me as many as possible. That's sarcasm, please don't. I want to keep my sanity, please. Let's see. Love EA servers. Yes, I sent you the invite, but I didn't see if you were, if you left again. Harrison Nickmore says, wow, yes, wow indeed.
Um, Yonkelen beats. What a sprint from Connor. Yes, beautiful sprint there, starting in P9 and putting it in P2. He was just basically very safe, just waited for people to kill each other and then fully benefited from all of the collisions that were happening. So yeah, a good sprint race from Connor, but also good race from Daryl, who just fully didn't do one mistake, battled with Steven for P1, Steven made a mistake, and then Steven only finished P7. So amazing there from Daryl as well. And of course from Lucas Holt, starting from P14 to P3. Same reports threshold as F1 with the cleanless or cleanless of F3. In F1, there's usually only like 3 reports. In F3, there's usually 7 reports, 8 reports. In F2, there's always more than 15 reports. Always. There's no less than 15, and it's fun. It's very fun. My sanity is gonna disappear at the end of the season. I can already see it. Because it wouldn't be so bad if people just didn't report meaningless incidents. Because in Singapore, I had 16 reports to Stewart, and literally, I think 10 of those 16 were NFA because they were meaningless and pointless. It's just insane what little things people report. But actually, that is also maybe a good thing, because if they are meaningless, I can get rid of them sooner, and I have less work to do. So actually, post meaningful results, and I'm gonna be happy. Or not results, post meaningful report. No, yeah, post meaningful incident reports, and I'm gonna be happy. Yeah, I said it right in the first place. Shotoy says, Jesus, I thought John was in last. Well, John did fully punt into the Ferrari of George Parr at the final chicane of 16, 17, and 18. We're gonna need to see what happened there. I don't think it was deliberate. I think it was just misjudging the breaking point. But I think that was the catalyst of things going in the wrong direction. Definitely. People then just started killing each other. So yeah, that was the cause of all of the incidents, which is gonna be like 15 reports from the sprint alone, and that is only 9 laps. That's only 9 laps, and it's gonna be like 15 reports. So, with maths, which I'm very bad at, 27 laps, it's gonna be like 45 reports. My life is fun. As we did see the McLaren of Flippy Flippy or Andy Kong put it on P10. So yeah. Enough rambling about reports. Let's get back into the qualifying session as we see Callum Pierce finishing their lap, putting it at P13. Let's see who's on a lap. I think Zach Lepage. No, they are not. Connor Hawken. No, they're going into the pits. Callum Leons. No, they're going into the pits. I don't think anyone's on lap except for Charlie Gordon, who doesn't have any ERS to spare. The Williams are not giving each other slipstream this time, as we did see in spring qualifying. So, yeah, Charlie Gordon going wide there. You don't... In real life, they do go wide there, but in the game, you want to go as much on the inside as possible, because you lose about a tenth there, or half a tenth. And Charlie Gordon does put it on P14, 129.5. So yeah. Because not a lot of people are on the laps, I'm getting a bit hungry. I didn't really eat too much today. I really should have gotten a bit more to eat. Well, what's everyone's favorite meals? Mine is bolognese or lasagna. Both of those are cooking. Anything that has pasta, I love with my whole life. Pasta is the greatest thing to come to existence. Pasta is amazing. And then, of course, curry is really, really good as well. I love curry. Indian food is really, really nice, really fun. But yeah, mostly Italian food is really good. In my opinion, I want to try a lot of Mexican food. I've been eating a lot of tortillas recently, and oh, they are so good. But I've never tried tacos. Tacos, I would really want to try. But yeah, those are my preferences. Italian food is cooking, and Indian food, and Mexican food. I mean, literally everything is really good if you know how to do it well. And I've actually started cooking recently, about 1 year ago. I started cooking, and cooking is very easy to. When you don't cook, you think that it's incredibly difficult and it takes a lot of mastery and blah blah blah. But when you start, you actually realize it's very easy to do. As you see, getting back into the qualifying session again, Daryl Radley takes on provisional pole 128.1, showing a lot of pace in that Alpine still, but we are still 2/10 off of the sprint qualifying pole lap time, which is a 27.9. So, which was set by Steven. So we're gonna have to wait and see if that is gonna be if that's gonna be set again. But yeah, that's gonna be fun to see. As a lot of people are actually finally going out onto the track with 2 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. So we are finally gonna see people setting their final laps of the session. As currently, I think that is a Ferrari of George Parr starting their lap. White rice with beans and fried chicken. Ooh, that's actually a good suggestion. That's nice. I like that. I per se don't really like beans that much, but if you make them right, they can be really good. Really good. And fried chicken, I don't think you can go wrong with fried chicken. But yeah, I like that suggestion a lot. It's basic Puerto Rican meal. Ah, nice. The more you know. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I don't know too many traditional meals from each country. That's what I'm really bad at. I couldn't even name you 7 countries at the top of my mind. I was literally yesterday. I was in a VC with someone, Luke actually, the owner of GRS, who counted every single country in 7 minutes. What? I can barely name 7 countries in those 7 minutes. I don't know how people are that talented. It's so insane. Like, what? How? It's insanity. It reminds me a lot of that. I think his name is Rainbolt, who can who can literally show you your location by just a patch of grass. Like if you send him a picture of a patch of grass outside your house, he's gonna know where you live. Like, I don't know how people are that fucking talented. Oh, actually, I swore. I'm sorry. I can't do that. I just remembered. But yeah, talented people. It's insanity. But yeah, those are very fun facts. As let's see, who's on the lap? I mean, everyone's lap, but who's gonna cross the finish line first? I think it is going to be Lucas Oates, as we see Mitch Snape spinning there. Hopefully, he's not gonna block anyone, as they let the Ferrari through. So that is very nice. I think it is actually gonna be Daryl Bradley, but they are not improving. So they are gonna stay in P1. And probably gonna go into the pits. No, they're not gonna go into the pits. He's gonna try and do another lap with no ERS. I wish him good luck with that. Or actually, he's not. No, he's not. He's gonna stay in P1, but a lot of people are gonna be improving. So let's see if anyone's gonna be snatching that pole position from him. The first person to cross the finish line is gonna be Jere Hivari in the Haas. Let's see how much he's gonna improve by. Currently 5/10, crossing the finish line. Lost 2/10, but still a nice improvement. Goes into P6. It is gonna be Steven next, improving by 4/10. That is already enough to beat the personal pole lap time. But is he gonna be able to improve even more in the final sector? And it is gonna be a 28.0, nearly going into the 27s again, as we see Zik Lepage going into P4. Callum Leon's P3, Andy Kong into P9, John Hearn P7, Harvey Conway puts it on provisional pole. Where did he come from? Oh my god, that is a cooking lap from Harvey. I think that even beats the sprint qualifying lap time from Steven. Both of them were in the 27.9s, but I think that's just faster by half a tenth. So very impressive stuff there from Harvey, as he is gonna take pole position, his first pole position of the season. He's gonna be very happy with that, definitely. I can definitely see that, as I think Harrison McMore is still on track, but he's not gonna be improving, and that is gonna be it for the qualifying session today, as Harvey Conway gets his first pole position of the season. I don't think it's his first pole position of the entire time he's raced in GRS, because I think he got a few before. But still, impressive stuff there from Harvey, as he's gonna start on pole. Steven Bekovic, our previous pole sitter for the sprint, is gonna line up alongside the Haas driver on the front row of the grid, with the sprint winner of Darrell Bradley starting in P3 alongside Callum Leons in P4. Corey Williams is going to be starting P5 alongside Zeke Lepich, Connor Holken P7, George Parr P8, with John Hearn alongside Yara Hiwari in P10. I do actually gotta say, I didn't even see this earlier, but the gaps are so close. It's 6 tenths from P1 to P11. That is amazing. I do love that, as I think we are actually gonna get a lobby restart, I think. Let me just check very quickly. I hope my stream is not gonna crash, or everything is gonna crash. I'm actually gonna put it in this place. There we go, the intermission screen. Let's see, is it gonna be a restart? Re-lobby, yes, we are having a lobby restart. Okay. Let me just check a few moments. Do. Give me just one moment. Okay, so yeah, like I said before, we are gonna have a lobby restart. And yeah, we already set the grid. Harvey Conway cooking on that last qualifying run there in the normal qualifying session. So yeah, beautiful stuff there. We are just waiting for the lobby to be open, but I can read some chat again. Christian Lyubanov says that Alpine is almost T1 speed. Yes, I mean, if I look at my lap times, I'm barely doing 28.2s in the qualifying simulations. So I'm probably washed. I should be in F2. Please move me to F2. I'm just joking. But yeah, it's definitely T1 speed. Both Harvey, Steven, the Alpine, yeah, all of those are T1 speed. which we could see them reserve. But it's a high probability of seeing them reserve, so it is going to be a lot of fun if they're going to be in F1 tomorrow. Young Beats, that's my TP right there. Yes, I don't know who you are. I don't know your probably Haas driver, because I don't know. So yes, nice. My caller times so far are mid 27s. Nice. That is really fucking good. I just don't know where to improve. My laps feel really good. I think I'm just not pushing too much. No, actually, no. I'm pushing so much, but I don't know where to actually improve. I feel like my Sector 1 is really good. But then I lose it in Sector 2 in the hairpin. I think that's my weakest corner of the bunch. I'm gonna have to do some more experiments with that tomorrow, because later today I'm gonna be playing F1 Manager 24. If you don't know, F1 Manager 24 is now out. It was out actually a few hours ago, but I'm super excited to play that game. The features that they have added look incredible. The create a team mode, the mechanical failures, the morale system, it's also good. I played about 100 hours of F1 Manager 23, which I should have played more, because that game is phenomenal. I 100%ed it, but I think it's pretty easy to 100%, and F1 Manager 24 is not actually gonna be that easy. It's gonna be the achievements are very similar to 23, but 24 has other achievements which look quite fascinating. For example, there is one achievement that you have to let me find it. So achieve a grand slam. So basically, earn pole position, the fastest lap, win the race, and lead every lap. That's it depends if your car is just a monster. That shouldn't be too difficult. But then you have a driver become the youngest ever world drivers champion. That's a very difficult achievement as well. But again, like I said, if you have a car that's a minute faster than everyone, you can just sabotage your teammate and fully focus on that young driver to give him the positions, and you can get it that way. And then there was another one that I found to be difficult. Where is it? Maybe it's just those two. Yeah, it's just those two. Oh no! Wait. Get all trophies is one of them. Where is it? Like, you have to get all trophies in the race scenario mode, which isn't difficult, but it's just a pain. It just takes a long time. But yeah, the achievements are kinda similar. I think I'm gonna be doing the 100% again, because F1 Manager 2023 was an amazing game, and 24 just looks even better. And yeah, I honestly just want to finish this as soon as possible to play that game. I want this race to finish quickly so I can play that game. I'm really excited for it. My team is going to be, because on every single game that has a My Team mode, like F1 game has the My Team mode, and then the other F1 Manager games, and of course Motorsport Manager, we can't disregard that game, and on mobile as well. On mobile they are really good as well. I always make Raven West. If you don't know who Raven West is, they are the main rivals in the Grid racing games made by Codemasters, which are some of the best racing games of all time, especially the first one, Race Driver Grid. And I've always loved that team, and always made a team based around them in every create a team mode. And yeah, Grid. If you haven't played the first game, go play it. It's one of the best racing games of all time. And then the other racing game that is also incredible is Colin McRae Dirt 2. The best rally game of all time, also made by Codemasters, which then makes me wonder how in the F, because I can't swear, how in the F have they made incredible racing games in the past and then fully messed up the newer F1 games? I mean, F1 23 was incredible, but then F1 24 is, again, dog shit. Like, how? Before they made amazing racing games, now they're just not. I think it's probably just EA's influence over them, because EA just wants money and stuff like that, so they're uh, putting Codemasters to not work as much and probably not giving them too much freedom to do what they want to do and focusing on useless features like F1 World, the clothing supercars which were removed. It's just fascinating. Yeah, Codemasters really fell off from being the best racing games developers to now being a lapstock per se, and it's a shame. It's a huge shame. It's a huge shame because you can count so many games that they made. Like I said, Grid 2. Dirt 2, Dirt 3, Dirt Rally 2.0, like so many good racing games. And yeah, it's a shame. But yeah, like I said, let's just finish this race as soon as possible so I can go play F1 Manager and make Raven West. My challenge is to make the worst team you possibly can. Worst facilities, worst drivers, worst car, worst staff, worst sponsors, everything being the worst, and just try, or no, not try, see how long it takes me to get to the top of the field. In F1 Manager 23, I was in the Alfa Romeo. It took me until 2026, which is the first, second, third, fourth season to be fighting at the top for a championship. I think it could have taken me less, because I am also playing on the hardest difficulty in the game. It could have taken me less if I think I focused more on the research, because I don't think I really did that. But then also my facilities were pretty garbage in the Alfa Romeo, so you really need to develop those to actually have a chance. Especially the design center. The design center has a huge effect on the performance of your parts, more than the CFD simulator and the suspension simulator and the wind tunnel and the racetrack. I think it's named the last one. Like, you don't need to focus on those at all, nearly. Really, the design center is the best thing, but that was the meta in Manager 23. They could have maybe fixed it in this game, maybe made it more balanced, but I don't think they did. I think it's gonna be the same again. And yeah, like I said, hardest difficulty, everything, to make my life fully miserable, but I think that's some of the most fun you can get in the game, getting from literally rags to riches. It's some of the most fun you can have in a manager game. But enough about me rambling. We are finally going into the race. And I really did hope you liked my ramble. I usually don't know what to ramble about. I'm really horrible with starting on the conversations, which I know would be a very bad aspect of being a commentator, but yeah, just a little bit of a ramble there. Like, when it's F1 related, I can ramble on it for days and days and days and days on. Because I think I'm the biggest nerd you can find about F1, because I just love this sport so much. It's such an incredible sport. Like, where have you heard someone watch full 24 hours of testing? I watched full 24 hours of testing live. I watched all 3 days, all 8 hours, everything. I just enjoy watching those cars be on the track. Like, I don't need action to enjoy watching Formula One, and I don't know why, but I just find it so intriguing, so fascinating, so much fun. and I would love to be a part of F1 in the future as my job. I would love to be working for a team. That would be a dream, honestly. I would really love that. But yeah, enough about me. Enough about me, and let's start talking about GRS. As it is a dry session here, strategies are probably going to be medium to hard, or hard to medium. You can do a huge undercut as the hards are gonna be surviving quite a lot. So we could see people boxing around, because there's 27 laps boxing around. I would say lap 10 or 11, or 12 for the hards, and laps 17, 18, 16 maybe for the mediums. I don't think we were gonna see any softs being used unless there is gonna be a latent safety car, which is definitely gonna be possible. As we did see in the sprint, everyone was killing each other at the last sections of the race. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. As we are finally gonna go on the way for the Japanese Grand Prix, as it is 5 red lights, and we are underway for round 3 of GRS as we see the RBs killing each other in the background, as Harvey Conway has gotten a very nice start there, still remaining in P1. Daryl Bradley taking P2 from Steven. Steven not getting a good start there as we see people driving off. That's Mercedes, that's Martin and the Williams fully pushing themselves into the wall. Callum Lyons and Zick Lapage also gets a 10-second time penalty for a severe collision with Callum Lyons there as we have a virtual safety car. Brilliant. It hasn't even been 5 corners and we already have a virtual safety car. How were these guys so clean in the sprint in the beginning? How? How was that possible? That's, I think, some of the cleanest racing I've seen. Those 7 laps are the cleanest I've ever seen in F2, I think. Those battles with Callum Lyons, George Parr and John Hearn. Until John Hearn fully dive bombed into the Ferrari of George Parr, and then everything started going downhill. As I think we are gonna see a safety car restarting, because Harvey Conway in the Haas is pushing quite a lot there, but slowing down again. As we do see the possible strategies, they are exactly what I said. But yeah, this virtual safety car is really long. This is some of the longest safety car, or this is the longest VSC I've seen in a while. As, yeah, let's see if anyone's gonna go into the pits. No one has a drive-through penalty at the restart. Let's see if anyone's gonna go into the pits. Maybe some people have damage, as we see the restart happening there. We see one Mercedes of Callum Pierce going into the pits, and I think it is going to be the other Mercedes of Zick Lapage and the Aston Martin. No, actually, they're not going to go into the pits, as presumably they do not have damage somehow when both of them were punted into the wall by the Williams of Corey, I believe that was. But I'm not going to judge. If they stayed alive, they stayed alive. But the restart so far has been pretty clean. Everyone's leaving each other quite a bit of a gap, but it is a huge DRS train from P1 to P12. Steven Nielsen lost a lot of time there in the background, as we see. I think that is Harvey Conway. What happened? What did I just see? We have another alien in the server. Daryl Bradley is an alien teleporting around into the walls and flying around. Flying Formula 1 cars coming to you in theaters, 25th of July, 2024. So yeah, that's unfortunate for Daryl Bradley, as he does spin. I don't know if it was contact with Harvey, I don't think it was. It was literally just lagging him fully spinning around. But yeah, he has fun currently in P11, so not lost a lot. But it is very unfortunate for the Alpine, who started in P2 and was and won the sprint race today. As we see behind the Hivari putting some pressure onto the back of that McLaren, staying on the inside line there, getting a bit squirrely because of the curb on the inside, and the Kong leaves the space, and it is going to be Yere ahead. Very nice move there from Yere.
And very nice defending there from Andy Kong as well. Harry Conway was also under pressure by the other McLaren driver of Steven Beckwith, but he was able to defend. It seems that that straight line speed in the Haas is actually pretty decent. So I think people are going to have a hard time going for any overtakes going into turn 1. So they're going to have to be quite creative if they are gonna want to lead the race. As we see another position change behind, Lucas Holtz goes ahead of Andy Kong and Charlie Gordon, alongside Andy Kong going side by side, going into Spoon Corner. Andy Kong is gonna be ahead there of the Williams, as we see here Hivari ahead going wide there. That is presumably gonna be a track limit extension. And now Corey was very slow there at the exit of Spoon, under pressure from Charlie, but I don't think anything's going to be done there. He is going to have to stay behind. As behind, actually, we see Hugo Nilsson going side by side with the Daryl Bradley, as he does get ahead. Going into a 130R, as Daryl Bradley wanted to pressure a move on Hugo Nilsson there, going into the final chicane, but didn't go for it, just faked the move as he does go into the pits, and we see a change in leading positions as Steven Beckwith finally takes that lead from the Haas driver of Harvey Conway, so that is very, very nice indeed. We of course didn't see the overtake, but I think it was done right before turn 1, so yeah, that is very nice indeed, as we actually already see a gap from P5 to behind. 2 seconds have been gained, so this leading pack showing a lot of pace here in the opening stages of the race. Yeri Hivari gaining some time, but also losing in some sections as well, as we see contact from Connor there on John Ahern. And John Ahern is currently sitting in P4. Let's hope that he's not gonna make another massive dive bomb into the final chicane as he did in the sprint, and fully ruining his and George Farr's race. Or actually, George Farr was still alive. Someone else ruined his race, fully pushed him into 130 hours outside the wall. But yeah, I think we again might see a changing positions here, going on to the main straight. Harvey Conway still on the back of Steven Beckwith. Steven not being able to pull away in the third sector. I think really that straight line speed from the Haas driver is incredibly good. As you can see here, DRS helping a lot, and he takes that move in before turn 1. Very clean there, as I think that was Steven taking fast lap. I'm not sure, as Luke Soates does overtake Yere, and now is fully, with no pressure, gonna be trying to catch the cars ahead, the next DRS train. So yeah, currently looking pretty fine. Nice overtakes happening all around. We did see a crash in the beginning, both Mercedes are last, so yeah, things are looking fascinating, definitely, as we are on board with George Parr here. Losing a little bit of time at the hairpin of turn 10, but he does have a lot of ERS to use, so he can definitely gain a lot of time on the straight here. So we will have to see if that's going to be able to happen, as we did see Connor nearly going for a move on John Ahern on this back straight, but he thought better of it. He just is gonna try and save some ERS, as we nearly saw John Ahern going on the back, or to the back of George Farr again, as before in the sprint. But he is using the ERS now, trying to overtake the Ferrari, but he's nowhere close, as we see the McLaren making easy steps there for P1, and Yere taking his place back from Lucas Holtz. This battling is not really going to help Lucas Holtz or Yere, as they're going to be losing time if they continue to battle. They're going to lose time to the cars ahead, so I would say that they need to decide who's faster and just catch this leading train. As we did see John Ahern losing the back end there,
at the end of the S's, and Andy Kong spinning at the end of the S's as well at the same part of the circuit. So very unfortunate day from Andy Kong, having a brilliant beginning of the season, but in Singapore didn't really have a good race, and now seemingly not having the best of times as well. Yeah. Steven still leading, extended his gap to 6 tenths, and looking very, very pacey. I don't think we are gonna see a change of positions again here from the Ferrari. Actually, scratch that, the McLaren does go a little bit deep in the chicane of 16, 17 and 19. Harvey is using his battery, but I think that was just to stay ahead of the cars behind, as George Parr is trying to get some clean air to cool the engine. So the engine presumably is overheating at the back of that Ferrari. It is a Ferrari engine, it is garbage, it is unreliable, so I wouldn't put it past them to need to cool the engine. But yeah, so far so good. Lucas Oates and Yere haven't switched positions behind. So basically I think this is gonna be the beta for the rest of the race. Sorry for that yawn. I am a bit tired and hungry, as I said before. I would like something to eat after this. That's also one reason why I want this to end quicker, because I want to get something to eat, and then after that play F1 Manager 24. But yeah, strategies we already said. Fuel is actually, fuel consumption is not too horrible in this track. You can get away with, I would say, like a lap of fuel at maximum, I would say. It all depends on how much you're pushing and using the throttle and how late or early you're switching the gears up and down. Basically, your driving style is depending for the fuel. So yeah, as we are maybe gonna see an overtake happening here. No, the Aston Martin had a chance on the Ferrari, but they didn't take it, as we see Lucas Oates switching the positions with Yerry Hivari once again going into turn 1. And Lucas is gonna hope that he can now catch John Ahern ahead, who is seemingly making more and more mistakes, as he is now outside of that train after the previous lap's mistake at the exit of this corner. So I don't think John is going to be entering back, because DRS trains are incredibly powerful on this game. If you're in a DRS train, or if someone's in a DRS train and you're not, you're basically, your race is over. It's screwed. Don't even, you can't have any hopes for your race anymore, because you just lose too much. But I think John's quite lucky, because there is only one DRS section on this track, so he still has a chance to get himself back in this leading train, which actually Steven has cleared away from. He is currently outside of the DRS of, or Harvey is currently outside of the DRS of Steven, the McLaren ahead. So I think that is gonna be quite bad for Harvey there, as now he's gonna be under pressure from the Ferrari if he manages to get a good exit, as we see first penalty being awarded to Conor Holken, the Aston Martin driver there. As yeah, we are gonna see a very easy switch in positions there between the Ferrari and the Haas drivers, and that was incredibly easy. Now George Parr is going to be looking to get closer to the McLaren, as the other Ferrari driver of Harrison Nickmore has also made a move into P8. If you don't know how points paint positions work in normal conditions of F1, it goes from P1 to P10 as follows: 21, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. You also get a fast lap point. If you're anywhere, if you just get it and finish the race, you will get a fast lap point, which is unlike the real race in real life, where you only get fast lap point if you're inside the top 10. And we also give a point for a pole position, which I don't know if that applies for sprint qualifying, which I think it does. I think it does. If it doesn't, it should. it should, because it is still qualifying. But I do think it applies, as we see an overtake here going into 130R. Connor Hawken making the move on Harvey. Harvey is still staying on the outside. Is he gonna leave him space? No, because he doesn't need to, as that overtake was already done. Harvey did back out a little bit, just gave Connor full permission to get ahead of him, and Connor is on the podium positions. So yeah, that is a nice move there. George Parr still sitting in P2, not really closing in the gap to Steven ahead, but that is gonna be a bit difficult. Steven is currently our championship leader, so it is expected that he is gonna be very fast. But yeah, anything can still happen. We've had no safety cars. We did have one virtual safety car, but like I said, anything can still happen. I'm actually gonna predict. I'm gonna predict we are gonna see a safety car lap 15. Lap 15, we are gonna see a safety car, because there's no way you can finish an F2 race without a safety car. There's literally no way. There's no shot. And I'm gonna predict 2 drivers that are gonna crash. I'm gonna say... Oh, who do I say? People are gonna hate me all the time if I say anyone here. Actually, I think it's gonna be one person that's gonna crash, and it is gonna be Callum Pierce. I think Callum Pierce is gonna bin it into the wall, which is gonna bring out a safety car. Lap 15. And let's see if it's gonna happen. As looking to the other Mercedes-powered car, we see a very early undercut. I told you we are gonna see a car going in lap 10. It is Connor Hawken, spitting for Hearts. And yeah. My strategy predictions are cooking. I love it. As we also see Corey and the other Aston Martin driver boxing. It could also be a wing change, and it is, because a front right end plate is missing on that Aston Martin. I think their race is ruined. They are gonna need to hope for a safety car to bring them back into the race, which, like I said, is gonna happen lap 15 by Callum Pierce in the Mercedes. So Callum, you have a job to do. Crash, and crash. God. Lead ahead currently 2.3 seconds. So Steven flying on those old mediums compared to everyone else, and I don't think anyone's gonna be catching him anytime soon, unless Connor actually gets a lot of time because of that undercut, which he could, but I think that the McLarens are gonna be responding to that undercut. It's not like in real life, like they bottle every single one of their strategies. I think Steven knows what to do, and he's actually not gonna respond. He's gonna go late. Fascinating. He's gonna be having better tires at the end, as we see John Hearn, 10-second penalty for spinning in the pit lane, as we see Hurricane Way, John Hearn, and Lucas Oates, Charlie Gordon go into the pits. I'll go to hards. And actually I didn't see before that everyone just started on mediums. I didn't check, because I was... I don't know what I was doing. As you see, another penalty being awarded there to Corey Williams, 3-second penalty for track limits. So unfortunate day for them in the Williams, but it is what it is. Don't check the stand and you don't get a penalty. As we see Lucas Sodes being behind a medium runner of 11 laps. Jonathan just getting ahead of the McLaren at the pit exit, but Lucas is gonna lose a lot of time now because of this. I'm gonna predict a overtake into the hairpin if he's gonna be close enough. Actually, no, that was a horrible exit. He's not gonna be close enough to make a move there. So it is gonna be later. It is probably gonna be the McLaren boxing this lap. And let's see if the other McLaren is actually gonna box with Steven Beckwith losing 1.5 seconds nearly. on the previous lap, still staying out. This is giving Connor an opportunity to really extend or really be ahead of the McLaren there, as Connor is trying to go for a move on Mitch Snape going into 16, 17 and 18 and makes it stick into the chicane. Let's see how far he is gonna emerge ahead of the leading pack, and it is gonna be quite a margin because undercuts in this game are overpowered. You always want to do an undercut in this game. You don't want to not do an undercut. You need to do an undercut. And you see why. Connor has, or was behind, George, if I remember correctly, by a second, and now is ahead of him by 2 seconds. So that is why I think that Steven has bottled it slightly, his lead, but watching his pace in the beginning stages of the race, I think he might be fine. He is also gonna have fresher hearts until the end of the race, so it is gonna be a bit better and a bit easier to take that position back and lead the race again. And let's see if they are gonna pit him, the McLarens, and he does go into the pits. And let's see if Connor is gonna emerge ahead, but before then, we do see the other McLaren driver of Andy Kong being under pressure there from Yeri Hiwari on fresher hard 12 lap compared to 12 lap old mediums, and Andy Kong just lets the Haas driver past. There was no point in battling there, as the McLaren of Steven is getting out of the pits. It is going to be incredibly close. Connor Hawken is closing in slowly, but it is gonna be Steven who is gonna emerge ahead just barely. But the McLaren is gonna be on colder tires, as Connor does make contact there because of it, not pumping too much grip on the cold tires. But Connor makes a mistake, nearly spins himself out of a perfect position, and that is going to lose him all of the gap that he managed to get because of the undercut. And now Steven basically wins this race. As we see a yellow flag behind, it is Yeri side by side with Charlie Gordon, as Yeri fully goes onto the gravel on the outside of turn 7. Very unfortunate there for the Haas, as he was running in a pretty good race, but yeah, unfortunate there, as Charlie Gordon does put himself into P8 and actually does overtake Harris Van Wick probably in the pits, also an undercut. Could have been, but I'm not completely sure. So yeah, that is very fascinating indeed. As let's see if Harris Van Wick is maybe gonna go for a move. Going into the chicane, Charlie Gordon ahead doesn't have a lot of battery to use to defend. As we see Jonathan and Harvey also making moves there. Jonathan going ahead into the exact same chicane we are at right now. And Harris Van Wick is gonna have the DRS for the main straight, and I think that is gonna be an easy overtake made, as Charlie is using the grass. Are the Williams gonna switch positions as well? They are, as we see Yeri Hiwari retiring in the pits, and that brings out a safety car? How did Yeri retiring in the pit lane bring out a virtual safety car? Unless someone else spun. What? I'm really confused. Did someone else see something I didn't? Was there another incident? Because I didn't see any other incidents. Everyone was driving, no one was in a wall. So I'm very confused. So yeah, I don't know. It literally probably was Yeri just retiring in the pits, which shouldn't bring it out, but it did. Which gives a good opportunity for Mitch Snape, if the safety car is not gonna be ending anytime soon, to box for mediums. And They are gonna have a very good. They're gonna benefit a lot from it, as we did see Callum Pierce also box for that. But unfortunately, no. The VSC has ended early, and we see Adam Leipage get a drive-through penalty. Currently running in P16, and his race has gotten worse. As Mitch Stape still staying out on those hard tires, and he is gonna be overtaken by the Sauber of John Ahern, even without the DRS going on the inside of the RB driver, as Mitch Snape has to extend. Actually doesn't have to extend, but he does extend, and gets himself a penalty for that. Backs out, going into turn 2, or turn 3 that is, and now is going to be under pressure from Harvey Conway, our pole sitter for today's race, currently not really in the best position to capitalize on that pole position, but he is still in a good points gain position, as he is gonna be needing to be pretty patient to overtake him, as he does get better traction there, but I think he is gonna try and make a move on the inside, going into the hairpin. No, as Mitch Snape loses the back end, presumably broke just a little bit too late, going into turn 10, and the back end fully snapped. Thankfully he managed to catch it and is going on ahead, and there was no crash between the two. As now Lucas Odes is trying to overtake the RB driver. There could be some... nah. I think he is gonna overtake him quite easily. I think Mitch is gonna be boxing this lap. Definitely. Also, wait, I just realized while I was watching this, for some reason it came to my mind. I did predict a virtual safety car to come lap, or a safety car on lap 15, and we have another on lap 17. But I did predict it on lap 15, and it came out on lap 15. It just wasn't a full safety car, but it was a virtual safety car, and I will take that. It wasn't Callum Pierce. It's a shame it wasn't Callum Pierce, but my prediction was half correct, so I take that win. As we see, I think that is Errol Bradley boxing for New Mediums, also having a horrible race so far. The winner in the sprint, currently in P13. Very unfortunate there for the Alpine. Yeah. Just nothing else to add. Very, very unlucky there. I think he got involved in a lap 1 incident, and just his race fully got screwed over. As we see, Callum Leon's getting a 3-second lap penalty and speeding in the pit lane, which he is going to retire from the session. Unfortunately there from Callum, he was also looking pretty good in the qualifying sessions and sprint, but it just wasn't meant to be. It wasn't meant to be. Our championship leaders are really not looking good. As we see Connor Hawken making an overtake on Steven, but backing out of it, going into 130R on the inside. Leaving it for the main straight. I'm actually surprised how Connor on 3-lap older hards is managing to keep up with Steven, but I don't think that the McLaren is really liking these hards that much, so that could also be another factor, as that was a very easy overtake from the Aston Martin there, and he is currently leading, but the race is still not over. Still 9 laps remaining of the session, and my hunger is still existent. I'm still thinking about what I'm gonna get to eat later. As you see, Callum Pierce getting a 3-second time penalty for track limits as well. While I'm talking about track limits, let's take a look at some of the penalties. We see Connor Hawken 3 seconds, John Ahern 10 seconds, Mitch Snape 3 seconds, Corey Williams 3 seconds, and Callum Pierce 3 seconds. And let's take a look at the positions changes. The most positions changes is led by Mitch Snape, but I don't think he boxed yet onto the mediums, so that could really well change. But it is currently being led by the RB driver, and the most positions lost is by Callum Leons, who retired in the pit lane. But out of the remaining drivers, it is Errol Bradley, 9 positions actually, making an overtake on McLaren as we talk about him. And the fast lap is currently being held by Steven Bekovic, but just barely 20 thousandths faster than Connor Hawken ahead of him, which he is going to overtake with ease going into turn 1. As we also see some battles behind us. Harry Swanwick Moore gets the fastest lap. Where did that come from? Harry showing quite a bit of pace as he is looking for a move on Mitch Snape, and he does make it stick. Nearly crashing himself out of the race with hugging a bit too much curb on the inside going into turn 1, fully sideways, but manages to keep his car in line. The number 69 driver as well as Harry Conway. I didn't know you can have the same numbers, but it is online, you can't really control that. Actually no, you can control it. In another league, you were actually mandatory to choose your driver number, and you had to use that all the time because of the like graphics stuff. You had to use it all the time, and that graphic is actually really good. So basically you use a custom number, you select yourself, like for example I select 73, no one else can use it, and then they have a custom graphic in on the stream. It's really good. It's a Croatian league. I don't know if any other leagues have used it, and it is free I think, as we see John Hearn fully track extending while it wasn't necessary, as there was enough of a gap to stay on the track. As you see, first lap getting taken by Steven Bekovic again, 130.8, and let's see if we're gonna see another move. Having into turn 1, Harvey going incredibly defensive, and still stays ahead of the summer driver of John Hearn. But yeah, those graphics are really, really good. It's not hard to set up, it's just annoying to set up. As you see, Daryl Bradley take a fast lap, 130.2, self-explanatory, it is on fresh mediums, taken incredibly easily. And he is gonna get it if he finishes 90% of the race, which I think 90% is around lap 25. As lap 22 is 81.4%. So I would say around lap 24 or 25 is going to be 90%. So if he finishes, or he can DNF after the 90% mark, but he has to be in the 90% mark to get a point if he is in points and stuff like that. It's fascinating stuff. But yeah. This battle still happening for the final podium positions. George Parr, Harry Conway, and John Hearn. The three musketeers of F2 battling for P3, and George is gonna be incredibly under pressure here. Harvey Conway on the back of him, but John is also closing in, as it is gonna be side by side between John and George. Fully dives it on the inside. That was very sketchy. That I can already see that being re-reported, and I'm gonna need to look at it. We didn't really have a good camera angle for it, so when it does get reported, I am gonna see how it is, because like I said, I am a steward in this tier, and I already hate my life. Because it's just insanity, but it is fun. I'm not gonna say it's not fun. It's fun seeing what kind of stupid incidents people can be involved in. As we see a safety car, and it is Daryl Bradley causing it. Let's see if we're gonna see where he DNF'd. No, we are not. Fascinating. So our sprint winner unfortunately does retire from the session. He's not gonna take that fastest lap if it's gonna be taken, which it is, because you're gonna see now everyone's gonna box for softs or mediums, depends if they have a fresh set of softs, because we did have a lot of sessions today and I'm already tired. My voice is gone. Having to commentate like an hour and 10 minutes in normal sessions for leagues is already tiring enough, but now we are adding 40 additional minutes or 30 additional minutes. It's even more tiring. which I think you can hear from my voice. I just wanted to end as quickly as possible, as we do see the Ferrari's double stack. Here's one more is gonna be held up there. The Williams have double stacked as well, but thankfully I don't think they're gonna be affected that much. Actually, scratch that, they are gonna be affected that much. And yeah, George or Harris Van More actually stays where he was in P7. I think maybe he was in P6, but I think he was in P7. So actually stays where he was, even with the double stack. So they were very lucky. What? Well, fuck. That's gonna be a lobby restart. That's gonna be a lobby restart, cause that is just unfair. I don't even know what happened, but oh my god, this game is beautiful. This game is so amazing. Is it a restart? I'm gonna go check. Give me a moment. The stream might crash. Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Has it crashed? It's not crashed, but I don't see anything yet. I don't see lobby restart. I don't see anything. No one's posting anything. Lobby restart. Lobby restart. Okay, so thankfully the stream didn't crash, but we still do not have a clear cause. We are waiting for the cause of the disqualification, and then we are gonna be able to say that it's gonna be a restart, or if you're just gonna end it here. I think we could just end it here because it is gonna exceed the maximum allocated time that we have for this. So I think if we are to restart here, I think we are just gonna take the positions from when the safety car started. I think that's gonna be the case, at least. I don't know. Because if we do restart, we have to wait for everyone to rejoin again, and then we are not gonna have enough time to do a full-on 7-lap shootout. So yeah, we just need to wait for that confirmation of what happened. I'm gonna go check again. Hopefully the stream doesn't crash. Should I? No. Still okay. Still okay. Yeah, it didn't crash. It didn't crash. Okay, good. No crash. Let's go. Well, I'm so scared of that because once when I was streaming on, I think it was F123 or F122, when I was commentating back then, my stream crashed fully, and my game crashed fully when I alt-tabbed. What's happening behind? Why are you switching positions? What are you doing? Mitch Snape, you shouldn't be in P6. Harry was P6. What's happening? No, actually, no, he was in P7. No. Nah, okay. No, it's good. It's good, it's good. No worries, it's good. It's good. But yeah, Mitch Snape actually really benefiting from this safety car, because he was, I think he was still on those old hards. I think he was still on those hards, so he's in P6. He's really benefited from this, as it was a free pit stop from the RB driver, and we are probably gonna see the safety car coming in this lap as the field is bunched up. And we are gonna see it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Boom, there you go. Predicted it, I knew it. We are gonna have a restart here. Not a lobby restart, but just a normal safety car restart led by Connor Hawken. He currently has a penalty of 3 seconds. And let's see how this is gonna work. This is actually a nice camera angle for the restart. I do like that. You can see everyone as Connor does go very early, does get 5/10 to the Ferrari behind, but the Ferrari is using a lot of ERS to try and still stay in that gap. Harry Conway faking a move on the inside there. People behind also battling quite a lot. Harrisonic Moore has damage. The Ferrari has damage. Front left-hand plate is missing. So that is going to cause him a performance loss, and he is going to lose quite a few positions from people behind, already under pressure from Corey Williams, but I don't think Corey is stupid enough to go for a move into this corner. He's going to wait for a better opportunity. But so far, Conor Hawken is not looking safe. Definitely not, but we do see a lockup happen there for the Ferrari driver of George Parr, which is going to lose him 2/10 at the exit of the corner, so still just barely in the DRS, but that could very easily change as Connor actually doesn't have too much ERS compared to people behind. I think that could very well be, because we did see the straight line speed of the Ferrari be pretty mental. The Ferrari doesn't need to use too much of ERS to stay behind. And DRS is going to be enabled after or at the beginning of lap 25, so no DRS as of now to use for attacking, but just look at the straight line speed of the Ferrari, closing in just by slipstream alone, but they are not going to go for the move going into turn 1. Harry Conway behind, also staying put, staying patient, and things are still being safe as we see the other McLaren driver retiring in the pit lane. Unfortunate for those for that team, as they were looking at solid results. Steven, of course, looking for a win, but got disqualified for some reason for ignoring a yellow flag. So we still haven't got confirmation of what happened there, so we cannot call it lobby restart, which is why we are continuing. As behind we'd see Hugo Nilsson battling with John Ahern, as John Ahern gets slightly better traction at the exit of turn 10, the hairpin, but he is using a lot of ERS to emerge ahead, but John is still staying there, but has to back out on the inside line, nearly making contact with the RB driver there, and that would not have been fun if there was contact. But let's get back to the lead. Let's see what's gonna happen here. Harvey Conway ghosting is inside of the Ferrari. I don't know why that just happened. But George Parr will have the DRS. He is breaking the slips, or broke slipstream from the Aston Martin, so the Ferrari doesn't want to overtake the Aston Martin, but still wants to stay ahead of the Haas, which is self-explanatory because the Aston Martin does have a penalty and it is gonna lose this race either way if that penalty is not gonna be removed. And yeah, it's just beneficial for George to stay ahead of the people behind who are also on 0 penalties, because that is going to grant him the win. But there is still a lap and a half remaining. Stuff can still change, as we see Harvey getting a bit squirrely on the exit or on the entry, going into the hairpin of turn 10. Presumably just broke a bit too late or a bit too hard and caused the rears to lock. But Harvey is closing in to the back of that Ferrari all the time, getting a brilliant exit off of Spoon and using ERS, of course, there, but not using a lot of it, as George also does back out of ERS usage. And we are gonna head to the final lap of the race, still led by Connor, but he will lose out a lot because of the penalties, as George Parr and Harvey Conway are gonna go side by side. George Parr has a lot more speed because of the slipstream of the Aston Martin and stays ahead. This is gonna be a very interesting fight for the lead at the ending, or not lead, but actual win, because I don't think they are gonna overtake the Aston Martin on track, but they are gonna finish both of them ahead of him, the same as Lucas Sodes. So this is gonna be a lot of fun to see who is gonna emerge. Harvey saving a lot of battery to prepare for the overtake, but George Parr also knows that he needs to save it. As we head into the hairpin, Harvey fakes a move on the inside of turn 10, but still stays behind, using a bit of ERS going into Spoon. Turn 13, I think it is, or turn 12. And we did see Harvey getting amazing exits here, but this time he actually does not. He's not gonna get a good exit. He is using a lot of ERS. He does have the slipstream from the Ferrari. The Ferrari trying to break it. Is he gonna make it stick? We have a yellow flag behind it. Is the clay pitch crashing as we see? George is gonna emerge ahead going into the final chicane. Lucas Oates is also gonna stay behind, but we do see Connor is gonna cross the finish line and is gonna win on track. But George Parr, the Ferrari driver, takes his first win of the F2 season of Season 8, as Harvey Conway is gonna finish P2 and Lucas Oates takes the final podium position. These three have been mental this entire race, and all of them haven't been on the podium this season so far. So congratulations for those three, brilliant race from them to not get a penalty and emerge victorious and benefit from Connor's penalty. As Lucas Holtz gets the second driver of the day, he also got it on the in the sprint, and he gets it in the main race as well. So yeah, really nice race, and I can actually see why. Started 13th, got a podium. Seems that that's his mojo now. But yeah, as I said before, George Parr has won today's race in Japan for round 3. Sorry, Conway is gonna be P2, and Lucas Holtz takes the final podium position. Connor Hawken is gonna finish P4 because of that penalty. Thankfully, doesn't get overtaken by Charlie Gordon, who is gonna be finishing P5 alongside his teammate Corey Williams in P6. The two Visa cash grabs of Mitch Snape and Hugo Nilsson are gonna finish P7 and P8, with the other Ferrari driver of Harrison McMore finishing in P9. Callum Pierce taking the final points paying position. John Horn is gonna finish P11, Zick Leipzig is gonna finish P12. And Andy Kong is gonna finish P13, but he actually DNF'd, but it doesn't say it. And the other DNFing drivers are Steven Bekovic, Daryl Bradley, Callum Lyons, and Yere Hiwari. But I think Daryl is gonna get the fast lap point. I don't know. We'll have to see when he DNF'd. But yeah, fun race. Fascinating one. It was quite clean, actually, to be honest. It was quite clean. It wasn't too bad. So yeah. Let's just... We are gonna do the interviews, as you can actually see the screen. George Parr, Harvey Conway, Lucas Olds. Interviews. Oops, there you go. So yeah, we are gonna get interviews. I just need to do this, and I think it's gonna be all fine. Oh, hello. Give me just a moment. I'm just preparing some stuff.
Just for information, I didn't actually finish on the podium. I have 5 seconds from the last race.
Yeah, I know, but that's gonna be later. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's gonna be
counting, and I did the counting. If I'm not gonna get reported, I'm P5.
I mean, that's also pretty good, but that's gonna be after the verdicts are gonna be done. So for now, you can enjoy the podium. But yeah, just unfortunate.
I got P3 on track in sprint and P3 in the race as well.
Yeah, and both of them you started like P13, so so you had a really good race.
P14 in the sprint and P13 in the race. I might be driver of the day. I might be driver of the day.
I mean, you were driver of the day in both the sprint and the normal race
Who else are we
from the
missing?
game.
George Paul.
George
Where
Parr,
is
we are
yours?
missing. I have no idea. He hasn't said if he's gonna join the interviews, but we can start without him. And you've already heard of him. Lucas Odds is gonna be our first person to be interviewed. First of all, congratulations on the podium, or podiums, should I say? And can you just describe that whole race and the overall sprint as well from your side? Because we did say before you did qualify pretty poorly, P13 and 13, I think, for both races, but managed to claw yourself back immensely. So just talk us through your whole race overall.
I was driving.
Nice! And you heard it here first. That is the best interview you're gonna get from Lucas Odds. Nice. So,
I originally, to be fair, I didn't originally want to play this race because F1 Manager came out and I wanted to play F1 Manager all night long, but well, I just decided to race.
I think it's like that for everyone, I would say. Like, I just wanted the race to be done as soon as possible so I can play that game.
Yes, because I can. Yeah, I want to do the F1 Manager, so I'm getting on it now. Actually.
Yeah, of course.
As we speak, I'm turning it on.
Very nice, very nice. I mean, I'm not gonna hold you for long then. My last question then is, did you ever expect that starting P13, we're gonna say basically last in the back markers, were you ever expecting to finish in the podium positions? And when did it change that you knew that you could fight for a podium?
In the sprint, it was when the Aston and the Haas just stopped on track. Just magically stopped. I don't think you got that. Maybe you did. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think.
In the race, I was just wanting to get points of the 5-second time penalty that I'm getting, but it finished even better than I expected, and I'm actually happy that I raced today.
Very nice. Okay, then that's gonna be it from me. Again, congratulations on the podium and on the 2 podiums, and enjoy F1 Manager 24.
Thank you.
Of course. And we are gonna go.
Shout out to Half getting pole position.
Yes, that is gonna be my next point.
I'm absolutely sweating.
I can imagine it's probably really hot. So yeah, our second person to be interviewed today is gonna be Harry Conway, the pole sitter for the feature race, and the podium finisher in the feature race as well, taking P2. So talk us through that entire race and the sprint, of course. I forgot where you finished in the sprint, but yeah.
I DNF'd in the sprint, so we won't talk about that. But yeah, the race. I mean, I got really lucky because of the safety car, but we take those, as Lucas knows. I'm happy because my game crashed mid-race, so I did get kind of lucky, but yeah, I was up there, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I would see that you would be. I forgot my next question. I got a brain freeze. I'm just gonna think of something. Were you ever expecting to be fighting at the top at this race? Because looking at the sprint and the sprint qualifying, you were there and thereabouts, but then you just fully clicked in the feature. Did you make any changes for it, or did it just come naturally?
No, it did come naturally. I mean, in qualifying, I got a whole slipstream from Corey. So that's always good. He literally gave me slipstream the whole lap, so I'm not going to complain. So that helped me get pole, and I was like P4 I think before my game crashed, but it was mainly the safety car that did help me get back up there. So I would say that I would still be in the podium or somewhere around there, but the safety car definitely helps.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's gonna be it from me for the questions, because I think you also want to play F1 Manager, because I think you also got the game.
Wow.
So I don't want to keep you guys any longer. But thank you both for the interview. George hasn't said anything about it, so yeah. Congratulations, you both again. Oh, there he is, the man of the day. There he is.
Hello, my people.
Hello.
Big win.
Indeed.
What were your wings,
Every
George?
dog has its day.
What were your wings, George?
I'm afraid I can't submit
No,
that
I can't.
information because my team
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Mad.
Yeah. Oh, I see.
Yeah, okay, it was 41.30.
No.
That's low.
Nah, I'm just joking.
You were so quick.
It was 50.
You were.
I was just charging my battery all through sector 1, so I just turned it off, and then and because my braking engine brake was so high, I was literally getting 70% almost.
Yeah.
Setup
I
was pretty,
suppose both of us was using GRS, so that's why I couldn't overtake you.
The setup was slapping though. Bit hard to
Yeah,
turn, but
I
like
bet.
in the straights, people just didn't really have much of a chance.
No, that's fair.
Indeed. First of all, congratulations on your win. And my main question is, did you ever expect to win it, starting from P8 on the grid?
Well, after the sprint, I really thought I had quite good pace, but I made a few mistakes at that first to get away. So, but in that race, yeah, actually, it was surprising, especially when we got onto the hards and I was able to catch. I was like, yeah, I've got a chance here.
Very
I
nice.
was feeling the pressure because I've got only 1 point so far. My TP was threatening me the other day.
Very, very interesting. You actually answered my second question I had, so I'm gonna improvise. I don't know. Actually, what to ask? You were cooking.
By Callum Leon's in the sprint though.
At least it's in the sprint, so you're clear for the feature race. So you still have the
We
win.
can say it live on air.
Oh my god! I just saw Callum Leon's reported 7 different reports. Oh god.
You've got a hard time, Dino.
That
If
is
you're
gonna be
doing
amazing.
stewarding.
Yeah, I do stewarding.
Great side-by-side racing in the sprint. Like gave me space. Actually, everyone gave me space
think
today.
I got
Everyone was
reported
nice.
as well.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Harvey as well.
Indeed, you
It
did
was
have
quick-
amazing
It was actually
battles.
quicker. If he didn't get disconnected, probably would have been different. But there you go.
You had very nice
I'll take what I
battles.
can. I'll take what I
Yeah.
can.
By the way, what happened with it was John Ahern who fully dive bombed into you into the chicane, into final
what, in the
chicane.
sprint?
We
Yeah,
were
yeah.
desperate. Oh, I don't know what happened in the sprint. I was gonna say, yeah.
I think it was the
Team
sprint.
Racer went for a move on someone behind me and just completely locked up and then went careering into the side of me.
Fascinating.
From P3 to like P6.
I had a really good point of view from that. It was definitely fascinating. Did that
And
give you any
Callum
side
killed
pot
me.
damage?
Yeah, minor, yellow.
Nah, of course.
It will be all reported. And Callum Leon's, I hope you're watching because you're being reported too, son.
And you heard it here first. I just want to congratulate you on the win again, and thank you all of you to that you agreed to do the interviews. I'm sorry for being a bit rubbish on them. I'm really bad at interviews, but thank you for coming.
It's alright.
At least we have a commentator, Dino. At least we
When is
have
the
a
dri-
commentator, Dino.
Indeed, indeed.
When is the drive of the day, Paul?
After the stream ends, I do it. So yeah.
I
Calm
want to
down,
be
Lucas.
included,
Calm down.
please.
Right,
Please, I
I'm
want
leaving.
to
I've
be
got other interviews
included.
to do. Peace out.
Alright, see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bye.
I want to be included, please.
You will be. I mean, you finished from P13 both times on the podium. So if you weren't included, it was okay.
In the sprint P14, to be fair.
Yes, yeah, of course.
A bit of credit for that.
So if you weren't included, I
Really
think that
well.
would be a disgrace to your name.
Yes.
But I mean, I do those, so I can definitely assure you that you are that you are gonna be on them. And I think it's gonna be you three unless there's someone else that I can see on the finishing screen. But you three are the main ones, definitely.
Right.
So
Nice fun
yeah.
interviews. Then
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to create the IKEA racing.
I hope you succeed. Well, you lads have a good night and congratulations
Yeah,
once
cheers,
again.
Dino.
Yeah.
See ya.
Bye
See
bye.
you later.
And you heard it here first from the 3 finishers on the podium. And we are going to end the stream here. If you did enjoy the stream, the commentary, and the race, you can leave a like and subscribe to our channel, as it really helps us out to make better content and streams. And little plug here too, if you're interested into GRS and like all of the action you see here, you can watch the documentary I made about this league and its first 5 seasons. There are also a lot of exclusive interviews there and interviews with the champions in the league, so you have a lot to see there. A little plug for myself. And yeah, there are some links in the description for the Discord, so like I said, if you like this section, you can sign up for mid-season signups. Basically, just submit times for 2 time trial tracks, which are Miami and Netherlands, and you're gonna be put in the tier where your pace is gonna stand. Or if you don't want to race, you can also sign up as staff, if I remember correctly. I think those are open now, and you can help out around the league, so reading, commentating, driver recruitment, media. Or if you don't want to do any of that, you can talk to our drivers. You just listened to them a few seconds ago. You can see that they're very, very friendly, so you can ask them for advice on the F1 games, or just advice in general for other games, or just talk about stupid stuff. And yeah, there are other links in the description for Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok if you wanna know more about the league and keep up with the league and stuff that is happening. You can follow us there, and you will get the latest news. We are trying to post as frequently as possible, but things are being revamped currently, so it might take a bit for posts to be common again, but they will be, definitely. So yeah, that is going to be it for today's stream and the commentary. Again, I hope that you have enjoyed. My name is Dino, and I will see you next week for another F2 race in Monaco. So stay tuned for that. You are definitely going to see a lot of carnage and DNFs, and have a good night.